Welcome back to the channel. Today we are putting Magnaflow's Direct Fit muffler on our Gen 5 2021 Ram 1500 with the 5.7 Hemi. This is part number 19433. This is just the muffler. This is not a complete cat back system. So this one basically will just be replacing this 55-gallon drum under here. Be unbolting it here. We have to cut right on the pipe side of this weld here, and then move this, and then the new one fits in. This is just a replacement muffler. So these cost, I want to say, about $400. So it's considerably cheaper than a full cat back system, especially since the Ram 1500s have the dual exhaust in the rear. Let's get this open. But you're getting all the typical Magnaflow quality. Weight savings. And more importantly, you're going to get a little more sound. So that is it. So we are going to go ahead and get this unboxed completely. Mark where we have to cut that muffler. Get that pipe cut. Get that old muffler out. Get this one in and clamped in place. And we should be good to go. Okay, so we have our muffler assembly. We've got a nice band clamp and gasket and bolts for the flange, for the tool bolt flange. And then the directions. Basically, just as I stated before, we're going to mark and cut the factory exhaust right on the far end of the weld. Cut that weld off, because then this slip joint will just slip over top of the new pipe and clamp down on it. Pretty straightforward installation. So let's go ahead and get started. So I used some Sharpie, kind of marked the edge of that weld. So I'm going to go ahead, my weapon of choice is going to be a Sawzall. Should be able to cut through that nice and easily. Once that is cut and we get the muffler removed, I'll clean up the edge with you know, with a grinder wheel and make sure there's no burrs or anything, and then we'll get the other one installed. Now keep in mind, obviously this is a permanent, this is not a bolt-in, this is the Direct Fit muffler. This is a permanent change. If you wanted to go back to factory, it would involve welding. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind that I've heard some people talk about, this you know, this motor, I have the 5.7 Hemi in here, has the MDS system in it. And when the MDS system goes active, it shuts down cylinders for fuel economy, and it does sound funny when the MDS system kicks in. It does not sound like a V8. The exhaust sounds kind of funny. So I have seen some people complain about that. But you got to kind of take the good with the bad, I guess. I put one of these mufflers on, my son had a 2017 Ram 1500 with a 5.7 Hemi, and he did that generation's Direct Fit muffler, and it sounded great. It had a nice rumble to it, nice deep tones without being loud and obnoxious, but yet no drone, and nice and quiet on the highway when you're cruising. So just a few things to think about. And we are through. Used a Diablo blade, 10-inch. You're gonna need a long blade in order to get close, because a shorter blade, you end up hitting this and you end up cutting over here. So gonna need a longer blade, but it worked out fine with the 10-inch blade. This is all cut. Now I'm gonna go ahead and undo the two bolts up here, and then I just need to pop the muffler out of the mounts and take it down. I'm gonna need two hands for that, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'll come right back once I have that out. All right, old muffler is out. I tell you, anybody, if you're working with exhaust, these You know, these rubber hanger tools for removal tools make life so much easier with getting that off. So when you undo this, my bolt snapped, the head snapped right off. Had to open the holes up with a drill bit. Magnaflow gives you new bolts, and then you have to make sure you take this off, this ground wire off, this ground strap off as well. And this is all cleaned up and ready to go. So I'm gonna fit the new muffler up into place, get everything hung and connected, and then we'll be right back. Okay, all right, we have the muffler in. Just have to tighten everything up. Got all the rubber isolator hangers back in place and have everything moving correctly. And then you're supposed to, I believe, take this piece and bring it back around. Just gonna spin this down to the bottom like so that we can put this back. There we go. And we can spin that. There we go. This way it's up out of the way. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to tighten these up. I'm going to tighten this flange up first. Make sure that's lined up correctly. And then I'll make sure everything is settled in here good. And then we'll tighten this band clamp up. All right. Everything is in, tight and secured. So it's nice and tight. Nothing's touching anything, so we shouldn't hear any vibrations or droning. Everything's clear up in the back here. So I think it is time to pull this thing down and start it up and get a sound clip with that muffler on there. Stock exhaust, start up, and engine rev. Start up and engine rev with the Magnaflow muffler. Alright, that wraps up the installation of the Magnaflow Direct Fit muffler. I hope this helps anyone else that's doing this project. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them below. If you like what we're doing here, please like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.